Welcome to the Real Hidden Truth. Before we get started, I would like to give all glory to my Lord, my Savior, and my God, Jesus Christ. All right. But we're gonna jump straight into this video, this reaction video. This one is titled I Lost Millions for Witchcraft and Sold My Soul to Evil. Okay, let's jump straight into it. All right. Let's do this. All right, let's do it.
I was initiated unknowingly, and it has affected my life, and that's where I am, where I am today. I have nothing to show for. I lost everything.
Carol was a prominent journalist of her time, interviewing famous musicians, actors, and entrepreneurs. But her life took a path of damnation when she accidentally interviewed evil spirits. There were times when Carol lived a luxurious life.
You know, being a witch doctors, morticians, mortuary attendants, and evil spirits. Let me just put it that way, because most of my colleagues were scared, but I was daring. So I remember at some point during my first interview, I interviewed I was able to speak to evil spirits. But that was before I met my husband.
She used to make $500,000 from a music concert. She owned a house, a car, and a bus, but now everything is gone.
That's the thing. When you are living that life, you're leading people astray. Everything is gonna seem good until you try to give your life to the Lord. Until it's time to turn away from all these evil spirits, and then that's when they start attacking you. You're not gonna be attacked when you're living for them. But when you're ready to give your life to the Lord, oh boy, let me tell you, now you're gonna realize, oh shoot, this is some real stuff. At first, you was just doing it. Some people actually do it. They live in like for material things. They just take it as that. Oh, I work hard for this and that and that. Yeah, okay. A lot of people sounds way better than you, 10 times better than you, but they're not where you are. There's a reason you are where you are. It's because you are willing to go certain distance. People are not willing to. It's that simple. Believe me, and you will be tested. Certain doors that's going to be open to people in life, it's a test for the next step, for the next stage. You feel me? But yeah, let's keep going.
The answer to the big why is witchcraft. Most of you do not believe in ghosts, spirits, or supernatural phenomena. But here we have a woman who made one wrong decision and then there was no coming back. From marrying a witch doctor's assistant to getting a chicken's blood transfused into her body.
That's
And then
crazy.
he brought out a syringe and took the blood from the chicken and injected me with it. I was traumatized.
But how did she get caught in the web of evil spirits? How witchcraft damned her? Where does this whole story begin and where does it lead to in Carol's life? If you are curious to unravel Carol's life's mystery, stay with us in the video. But let me warn you in the beginning, this video is not going to be easy. Embrace yourself to witness one of its own kind of story of a woman who lost everything to which.
Look, hey, none of these stories, none of these things gonna shock me. Believe me. Hey, I was born in Haiti. All right,
Witchcraft. Let's get started.
I was raised there too.
My names are Caroline Atelo Nyanga,
Caroline.
popularly known as Caroline Nyanga, or CNN to fellow artists and my fans. And I'm a born again Christian. I'm a mother of two,
That's
a
right.
third born in a family of 6. When I went to India, I was only 18 years old at the time, I remember. And the kind of life that I led was not in accordance to the will of God. As in, we used to party a lot, 24 hours. We used to go out for beach parties, even 3 days non-stop.
There are many twists and turns in Carol's life. India happened to her in the beginning, the prime of her life, but she had
She
no
was really
idea
in that
how
picture.
this fun was almost going to cost her life. How well did you blend in with Indian culture?
Life was good. I used to, like I said, we used to party a lot, even though the Indian culture is a bit strange. You see, India is known as India is normally referred to as the center of the devil by many people due to their nature of worship. They worship cows, goats, and statues, almost 365 gods.
82.
So I used to accompany some of my Indian friends to go and worship with them the idols I remember at the time, because I did not know what I was doing at the time.
Why did you go to India? What did you do there?
At the time when I went there, I was able to. My first degree was a Bachelor of Arts in journalism, Bachelor of Arts in public administration, political science, and psychology. That was my first degree within a period of 3 years. And then my second degree was Bachelor of Journalism for 1 year, and then Masters of Mass Communication and Journalism for another 1 year. That was 5 years. So by the time I was done, I was in my early 20s.
Knowing her rich education qualification, it makes me wonder more how something like witchcraft can destroy such a smart woman. Life does not go wrong just after a wrong decision. It is always a series of wrong decisions that
Yeah.
move your life upside down. Something similar happened to Carol.
So when I was about to come home, I had an accident. It was a very serious accident. I remember I broke my femur, my leg, my back, and stuff like that. I didn't know it was that serious. But by the time I arrived at the hospital, Indian private wing, the doctor said that I had broken my femur and stuff like that. So I had to undergo a major operation, urgent one. It required my mom to come over and my elder sister, because my late mom at the time was a nurse. So my mom came over and my elder sister. I stayed in the hospital for a period of 1 month. At the time, the person who caused my accident came and apologized, and I forgave him. He was an Indian, and then a pastor came over and prayed and asked if I was ready to give my life to Christ. At the time, I was just giving my life to Christ because he told me that if I do, I'll be able to recover. So I was just doing it as a by the way. I was not serious.
Hmm.
So I gave my life to Christ, and I remember people just dying in the hospital, and I was being transferred from one ward to another. So I underwent a major operation, but before that, my mom was told that I needed blood transfusion. So my mom had to, consent. You cannot be given blood without a parent's consent. So my mom agreed, and then I was transfused 12 pints of blood.
Oh boy.
And I went to blood transfusion, 12 pints of blood, like I said. And then I was given IVs, about 30. And then I was used to be given 8 injections per day for a period of 1 month. So from there, I was able to, my condition was better. And I remember during my stay in that hospital, I met a popular Luo musician by the name of Okachpigi, the late. And he was critically ill at the time. My late father is the one who introduced me to this man. I did not know him because I was young at the time. I only knew of the likes of the late Tupac Shakur, American rap, and stuff like that. So after 1 month, my condition got worse, I remember. So I had to be taken to another government hospital, but it's a very big hospital, though the private wing section. My condition got worse, so I went there, and I was able to stay there for a period of about 3-4 months, I remember. At the time, I underwent a major operation still, blood transfusion, and then this time round, the operation that was being conducted on my body was to remove the plates. The first time in India was to insert the plates. When you have an accident and you're injured, you're fractured, they normally insert plates. So this time round was to remove the plates because I was in so much pain and suffering. So I remember the plates. I was transfused as usual, and then I went to the theater for 9 hours as usual, and then after that, the plates were removed. And then there was a time I started bleeding for a period of 5 months, I remember. And I was told by servants of God that it's spiritual. So the doctors suggested that my uterus be removed, but I refused. I went to a neighboring country for prayers, and man of God prayed for me, and the bleeding stopped instantly, I remember. And then after that, I traveled back to Kenya. Now, upon coming back, the bleeding came back a month later, but it was regulated to 3, 4 days. You understand? 3, 4, or 5 days. Because that one was 5 months non-stop, I remember.
Such fatal accidents sometimes leave lifelong scars on people. Was your accident any different?
After about 3, 4 months, I was discharged. But prior to my discharge, the doctor said that I would never walk, I would never give birth, and I would never
Man,
dance. So this was very bad news for me at my tender age. So I remember my mom never lost hope as a nurse. A friend of hers advised her to take me to a traditional masseur. That is a man who uses traditional medicine to massage or broken bones or to mend or fractures or something of the sort. So my mom took me there. It was in a place within Nyanza, a place called Kokuro. That one was huge. So I remember the first time when he got to his home, it's a family friend who introduced us to this man, and she lived just next to the man. So when I got there, upon arrival, I remember the guy had to break the fractures again. It was so painful. I think my mom took off. Actually, my mom took off at some point with her friend, but I was left there and I was just, persevering because I wanted to get well at the time. All I wanted was to get well. So I remember after that, my mom came back, and this man assured my mom that all would be well. So this massage went on for a period of 5 months, I remember. So by the time it was done, I was able to walk at least, I remember.
When medicine
that's your
fails,
childhood.
miracles pave their way in. So, once you are back on your feet, how did life turn out then?
I was opportune to get a job with a popular media house at the time. I will not mention the name for personal reasons. So I was one of the best entertainment writers, I remember. I used to specialize in feature stories, human interest stories, entertainment, you name it, exclusive stories, all that. So it was all good, I remember. And even at the time, I remember I was opportune to interview a number of musicians from within Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Let me just say East Africa, Nigeria, Congo, Central Africa, UK, US, you name it. All musicians used to come to Kenya. I used to be given the opportunity. I used to be assigned to interview them due to my unique skills, and I thank God for that. So I did the interviews. I remember I did exclusive interviews also at the same time, and I was also opportune to. I was assigned to interview, not opportune. I was assigned to interview. Since I was daring, I was assigned to interview, witch doctors, witch doctors, morticians, mortuary attendants, and evil spirits. Let me just put it that way, because most of my colleagues were scared, but I was daring. So I remember at some point during my first interview, um, I was opportune. Actually, I interviewed I was able to speak to evil spirits. I remember the first interview was with my colleague, and we went there into a witch doctor's den. It was so scary. It was somewhere within Eastlands.
I want to say something real quick. A lot of time could God, because actually God uh give the permission for everything to happen. Even when bad things happen, God allows it to happen. And when doors open into your life and then bad things allow to happen to somebody, that's because God allowed it. Yes, it's a good thing, because that decision you made and God allowed you to go through that door and not close that door, that's because it's going to make you stronger, and you will learn from it, and it will transform you. That's why I'm thankful. God allowed things to happen into my life. He allowed me to walk through certain doors, but at the same times, there's a lot of door that he closed. He did not allow me to walk through. And a lot of time he don't allow people to walk through certain doors. That's because there's no coming back from crossing that path. Once you cross into that door, there is no coming back. Literally, you're going straight to destruction and then go to hell. So a lot of time when God don't allow things to happen, that's because okay, he already seen like okay, if you walk through that door, you're not coming back at all. There is no turning back. So he closed those doors. So I am thankful uh for all these time that God closed certain doors. Even when I was like mad, I was like, man, come on, I wanted it to happen. I'm thankful that God did not make it happen now because now I understand why he did that. So I'm so thankful in that manner. You feel me? So when God allows certain things to happen, even if it's bad, just know it's for the better. Just know there's something he wanted you to learn from that, from him letting that happening to you. So yeah, that's what I wanted to let y'all know.
and it was very huge. So the first thing that I saw were 7 pots full of blood. And I asked the witch doctor, the purpose of the blood, and he told me that it was food for the evil spirits. I didn't quite understand. And I wanted to know where the blood were from, animals or what type, human. I don't know what I was getting myself into, but he told me that the blood are from animals. I don't know who are being sacrificed. I don't know. I cannot argue. But all I did is I saw the pots. There were 7. And then they had huge, huge straws. Inside the pots, there were huge straws, 7 of them, full of blood. So I inquired, and he told me that the evil spirits use the straws to draw blood, to drink blood from the pots. So I didn't want to say much. And then he showed us briefcases full of money, 1,000 notes. There were millions, actually. So I remember after this interview, before we began the interview, I was a bit scared. So the witch doctor requested that we go back home and come back after 1 week. So we went and came back a week later. So that week, that when we arrived, upon arrival, we were ready. So his purpose, his role was to entice the evil spirits. I remember. It was so scary, but I don't know. It was too late. We could not just, could not change our mind because we were already there, me and the photographer. So he began enticing the evil spirits by burning incense, chanting rituals, and using a handbell, I remember. So as the spirits were coming, I think the witch doctor lost control, or rather he went still like a dead person. And we were there. We were so scared with the photographer, and I remember we kept holding hands because there was no way of escaping. We were already locked inside there with the evil spirits, and the man was still. The man we were talking to was already still, so we were just there waiting for the worst probably to happen. So I remember when they came in, the first one came in. When the first one came in, they were speaking in pure Kiswahili, not English, but pure Kiswahili. And they was just saying, tuko hapa mwanangu, here I am, my daughter. That was what they said. The first one, the second one, the third. When the fifth one came in, I lost my memory. And then the sixth one, and then the seventh one, and then they were able to restore back my memory. These are evil spirits, remember, so they can do anything. Even the Bible tells us that evil spirits are fallen angels. So I remember my memory was restored back, and I could hardly speak because I was scared. My colleague now was not even saying anything. We kept holding, we just held hands. And then when I gathered courage, I remember asking them their role. And they quoted a verse in the Bible which says to kill, steal, and destroy. And I was even more scared. And then I inquired from them where they were from, where they are from, where they live, and why they had to take too long. And then they told me that the reason why they took too long after being enticed by the witch doctor It's because they were coming from various oceans. They live with in the oceans, in oceans. So they mentioned Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. I think there's Arctic Ocean, and is it Archaic? I don't remember. But there were 5 oceans. I cannot remember Indian, Pacific, Atlantic, and Archaic Ocean. Arctic or Archaic, I don't remember too well because I lost my memory. So they told me that when they were being enticed, they had to come from there, come and drink the blood from the pots, and then go to various countries. Then they told us that you see, human beings, when you want to go to the US or the UK, you take like more than 10 hours. Like India, for instance, it takes 7 hours by flight. So they say they only take 5 minutes to fly to any country that they've been assigned to after taking the whatever the sacrifices or the blood. And then they go and they enter into that person and then they bring that person home. That is why you see somebody disappears for abroad for 10 years and then comes back home after 10 years. They told me that they've been assigned to do that, so they do that on a regular basis. So then they requested they wanted to talk to my late father. And I said, the Bible tells us there's no connection between the living and the dead.
That's right.
And then they requested if I would talk to any of my relatives late. I said no, I refused. But the photographer was just quiet. He was not uttering. I think he was in shock. So after the interview, I remember he requested to take a picture of these evil spirits, and they agreed.
Yeah, there's no talking to the dead. Once you dead, yeah, heaven or hell, you can't talk to them people. Like you got familiar spirit. They will look like the person that's dead, but they're not. And they know like they got their memories because they literally these spirits are watching us 24/7 even when we sleep. So they know everything about us. They was here since the beginning of time watching us. So that's how they are able to like speak to you like it's your loved ones, like because they know everything about them.
So he took pictures as we were looking at the camera. It was a quality camera. We could just see bones, like skeletons. That's what we saw. So he could hardly understand. So he continued taking pictures of the skeletons. He was excited. And then by the time the evil spirits were done now, I inquired from them a lot of things, their role and stuff like that. And then they warned me not to write anything negative about them, or they would come for me. They know where to get me. That's what they told me. And I said I would never do that. So I remember after the interview now, when the evil spirits now began leaving, there was no need to entice them because they had already been enticed. So they were just leaving, and you could hear the sound of a bell ringing, like somebody ringing a bell, and they leave one by one.
Since that day, Carol's life began changing. Something shifted inside her. She
Let's
had
get
no
into it.
idea what awaited her on the road she took that day. However, we have heard that spirits cannot be captured on camera, but your colleague took some photographs, right? How did they turn out?
I remember upon leaving, the picture disappeared from the camera. Shock on me, shock on my colleague. We didn't know what we were going to tell the company because the pictures were there. There were skeletons, then they disappeared. So I didn't know. I was shocked.
Hey, a lot of people don't know our technology comes from a the kingdom of darkness. If you know, you know. I got some more Erica and Tim videos to react to. I'm gonna go live on that. But yeah,
So after that, I remember I developed complications, health issues, as in I had severe headache. You know, I was not okay at all. Let me just put it that way. I was ill, critically ill, and my colleague too. So I decided to go to the nearest church upon leaving the witch doctor's den. My colleague,
you
I
went
think
to
he didn't
church.
believe in these things. So he said he didn't see the need of going to see a pastor. Me, I went, and I remember the pastor prayed for me. I told the pastor that I've had an encounter with evil spirits, and he prayed for me. Deliverance was conducted and stuff like that. And I think that somehow saved my life, because after that I've been undergoing deliverance sessions and prayers with more than 50 pastors, I remember, after that, in different churches. My colleague did not see the need of going to a church or for prayers. Now, 6 months later, one day when I was walking in town, I remember somebody tapped my back. And when I turned, it was the witch doctor, and he told me that the the evil spirits were very excited with the story. I remember when the story came out and it was published, it sold, it broke, yeah, thousands of copies, like never before, I remember. So they were very happy. And they had told me that the story would sell, the evil spirit, I remember. So after the witch doctor, after tapping me on the back, I had to go for deliverance, for prayer sessions again. My colleague refused. 6 months down the line, he died. I remember he fell ill and he died. So I think I'm alive by the grace of God. So
That's
after
right.
that, even when I got to my house, I could hardly sleep because I could hear things walking within my compound, within my house, within my bedroom, I was just not okay. Things were just walking, funny sounds, I don't understand. I used to go for prayers, but still, things were not working so well for me, I remember. So this went on until at some point, I decided, after the prayer sessions, that my condition, got better. Also, just one of my colleagues wanted a rich man. So the fact that I had an encounter with the evil spirit, she requested that I could take her to a witch doctor's den, which I agreed. I obliged. I went with her, but this time it was a different den. So we went there, but the evil spirit had already connected myself to the evil spirits, remember. So when I went for my second encounter, when I took a friend of mine, the evil spirit said that they know me too well. I've had an encounter with them because I think they speak amongst themselves. When you visit them, they know. They said that when others leave, others come. So I think they interacted. So when I took this friend of mine, the procedure was the same, enticing them, and then he was able to.
Yeah, just like me and you, like not connected right now, man. In the spiritual realm, everything is connected. Everybody know everything. It's not like here. We don't know everything. When you die, oh boy, the knowledge that's await for you in the afterlife, it doesn't matter if you go to heaven or hell. Hey, you want to know something? You know it instantly. Instantly. And yeah, they speak among each other. Like, bro, we are so ignorant. Most of us are so ignorant. We don't want to take the Bible serious, but yet that's the only book in the whole world that tells the truth, the whole truth.
Get this rich man. He was given some concoction to put in his food and drink, and they were able to date for some time. But I don't know. She just disappeared. I didn't know where she went. We lost touch.
Carol was not only popular in the living world, but she also gained
Bro,
popularity in the not only
I know
popular
this
in the
guy.
living world.
This guy right here, he Haitian. I forgot his name. I know some songs he did. Unless he's somebody else that looks exactly, he look exactly like the person I'm talking about right now.
But she also
I
gained
forgot his
popularity
name.
in the world of the dead.
I was assigned also to interview, I remember, morticians in one of the major hospitals. So when I went there, they locked me in with the dead. I remember
That's crazy.
for about an hour. I was traumatized.
Oh yeah, that's normal. Like certain like rituals. I'm talking about the top level rituals. Yeah, like yeah, you gotta get locked up in a room with dead bodies, or in a cemetery. You gotta sleep overnight in there with the dead body. Yeah, there's level to this.
And I remember I wanted to find out the procedures involved in treating the dead. And there were like 5 steps, like formalin, embalming the body, you know, and beautification, and, a lot of things. There are procedures involved. So I went there for about an hour. I was locked in with the dead. Like I said, there were youth. At the time, there was a man, a boy and a girl who were involved in a road accident. They had passed on. So they're using their bodies to show me how treatment is done on dead bodies. So I remember they locked me in there and I was traumatized. And then another time I went to another major hospital also. Now where let me just maybe I can just mention the name because it's there. I mean, when you die in the house or a road accident, you're taken to city mortuary. I went there and I remember it was hectic. I mean, it was traumatizing. I was told to walk until the very end, and with the people are lying there, some are, have been electrocuted. Hey, it's hectic. It's traumatizing. In
That's
short,
crazy,
I
man.
walked in, I saw all kind of people who have died in road accidents, men, different in the houses, suicidal, suicide and stuff like that. I walked in there. I was just doing my job, and then, of course, they spoke to me, and then I also went to Kenyatta, I remember, and spoke to the morticians. I saw how the bodies were being treated for the dead people. And then I went to Nyanza. This time around, I met a madman in the name of, he's not a mortician, he's a mortuary attendant. Morticians, they study this course. It's called mortuary science. They study mortuary science, so they're conversant with how to treat the dead bodies. But a mortuary attendant is maybe could be even a class 4 dropout who's just there to take care of the dead. So this man, I went there, Nyanza was assigned, and then he was dancing. He put some Benga music and he was dancing, amidst the dead. And he was telling me I'm the only person who's not dancing. Everyone is dancing. So I remember at some point, he told me that there was a lady who refused to have an affair with him. And at some point, this lady had an accident and passed on. But she was brought in when the body was still hot. So he slept with this lady. And then he told me, women, why do you feel sweet when we can actually sleep with you when you're normal? And then I, I felt that I was dealing with a psycho at the
That's
time.
sick.
I didn't say much. Then he told me that he went to his shelf and something like a shelf, and he told me, tell me the kind of medication you'd like me to use on your body when you die. Then
Bro, you know how we scared of even touching a dead body? It doesn't matter how much you love the person. Like, bro, you so hesitant to touch a dead body, let alone doing what he did.
I told him, let me go and get some airtime, then I come back. Then I just disappeared because I was dealing with a madman.
Life has been uniquely cruel to Carol, so much so that even she finds herself trying to connect the dots. What went so wrong and where? Did you have other ventures for income or were completely reliable in panoramic interviews?
I remember I had a tailoring shop, I had a bar and restaurant. I used to, um, what can I say? Is it chicken? Chicken? I don't know. I had so many chicken and, poultry and stuff like that. And then I used to do concerts in a club. Whenever I did a concert, I would end up getting half a million per night. So I did 2 concerts in a month. So that's 1
By the way, she's not talking about half a million like dollars. She's talking about in her country that's less than $500,000 US, you know?
million. So even if I was not paid on time, at least I had some money with me. I had 2 vehicles. I said 2 vehicles and a bus. And I used to host musicians, especially the low musicians, in different clubs, and I would get a profit of half a million per night. So I used to do 2 concerts in a
Ooh,
month.
I remember the guy's name. Hold on.
To host musicians, especially the low musicians, in different clubs, and I would
This guy. I don't know if that's him, but if it is, his name is Vaglavi. 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 A Haitian artist. I don't know if that's him. If that's not him, he look exactly like him. Literally everything, like the whole face, exactly like him.
get a profit of half a million per night. So I used to do 2 concerts in a month. So when I was initiated, this witch doctor requested that I give 200,000, which I did, but my condition got worse.
We have got a hang of your professional life. Can you share something about your personal life too?
My third encounter, when I met a man who I actually initially I did not want this man, but I don't know how I ended up with this man. Now, ending up with this man, I later learned that he was an assistant witch doctor. So I think that my first encounter with the evil spirits paved way for me to take this friend of mine, and then I also was able to, to have a relationship with an assistant witch doctor.
Whoa.
So then I stayed with this man for more than 10 years.
That's
And
a
I remember during the
long
time,
time.
it was not easy because we used to fight a lot. He was always drinking. He was always drunk. I don't know, and very violent. And at some point, I remember I could go to work and people were asking me like, what's wrong CNN? Because they used to call me Caroline Younger Network. CNN, what's wrong? And I'm like, I have so many problems. So I remember this man was also at the same time, he used to love women, alcohol and stuff like that. It was not easy living with this man. And then at the same time, whenever I conceived, I would always end up, losing the pregnancy. I remember I have two daughters. I have two daughters at the moment. But prior to them, my daughter who just finished Form 4, I lost four. I used to conceive but lose, conceive and lose. So those are four kids that I lost.
Sacrifices.
So when my first deliverance was being conducted, I remember by man of God, the spiritual husband in me spoke and said that we have four children with him in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual world. I didn't quite understand. So I remember the first pastor who did my deliverance now after things were not going well in my life. He was he could not do it well because he was overwhelmed by the evil spirits. So I remember members of the church left, all of them, and there were five pastors. So two left and three were left. Three remained behind. So during my deliverance session, the spiritual husband in me, he called himself Amos. He overpowered the three pastors, and they were all down. They were all brought down, and he beat the leg of the pastor who was doing my deliverance, and it was not. It was a very serious. It was very shocking. But that was then at the time. So this went on, and this man, I lived with him. He never told me that he was an assistant witch doctor until now. My problems, I lost my businesses, my money, my health was deteriorating. And that's when he revealed after some time that he was an assistant witch doctor. This he told me after uh, I went for an interview in one of the media houses, my testimony, and then he insisted that he wanted his testimony to be done also. That's when he revealed that he was an assistant witch doctor, and that's how I learned about it, and I was in shock.
After finding out the reality of her husband, Carol might have felt like her whole life was a lie.
Before revealing to me that he was an assistant witch doctor, he brought a fellow witch doctor into our house. I remember. He used to sleep in my daughter's bedroom, and he used to entice the evil spirits there. So he was in cahoots with my husband, but I didn't know. I did not know. So they enticed the evil spirits, and they spoke to me, and of course they knew me because I had already had I was already in touch with them.
If you are thinking this is worst could have happened to Carol, wait to find out the heights of worst that
What?
happened to her later.
It's
At the
gonna
time I
get
had money,
worse?
like I said,
Oh boy.
200,000, which I did, and that my life would be better, my health would be better, and I would get more money. So this man, I gave this money to him, and then he made a concoction and gave me to drink. This concoction I later learned was made of dead bodies, you know, and bones of dead people, the flesh of dead people, and what else? And the soil where the cemetery where they are buried. So he was blending and giving us to drink. The people who we drank with this concoction passed on, but I managed to survive. And then I was also requested to use this concoction to take bath, which I did. I took bath, and then the instruction was to take bath and then come in front of the mirror naked the way you're born, which I did because I was following instructions, remember. So I came, and then I told the evil spirit that here I am, do as you desire. So I think they were connecting, the evil spirits were connecting themselves, with me unknowingly. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I lost my memory. Then I was given a blank paper to put under my pillow. And then in the morning when I woke up, because I locked my room, there were writings on this blank paper with blood. It was written in blood, but now human beings write from left to right. Evil spirits write from right to left, but I don't know how to explain it. We write from left to right, right? They write from the other way around, right to left. It's just strange writings. It's written in blood.
Yes, in the spiritual realm, like when it comes to witchcraft, like it's weird. The things like you hear, that's why when people like come out and give their testimony about what they went through, people don't believe them because these things they're talking about sound strange to somebody that don't believe in the spiritual realm or that never have no encounters. These things sound strange. It's hard to believe. It's things you see in movies. So that's why movies exist. Entertainment. That's why these things exist. Because they want you to believe they're fake. It's just that's just thing that happens in movies. It's not real. No, they got it from somewhere. And believe me, you do not want to know. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
That is what I saw. It shocked me. And you know what really shocked me is that
By the way, I'm speaking from experience. I did these things. Not exactly what she did, but a lot of things like she's talking about. I know, like I did. I had to go through. I did witchcraft in my past before I gave my life to the Lord. You do strange things. And this is not even a bit. There's like crazy things that would make your mind explode if you hear.
evil spirits know us more than even we can imagine. Because they told me everything that was troubling me, things that I had not told anybody. They wrote it in that piece of paper. So after that, the witch doctor requested that I buy chicken, and then I did. And then he brought out a syringe and took the blood from the chicken and injected me with it, and took mine and injected with chicken. So I think one person even made a joke and said that I had a blood transfusion with chicken, which is okay. I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time. But I think after that, my condition got worse. I kept losing, my health was deteriorating. I lost the money. I was losing money. I didn't know. No, I didn't know what was happening to me. I could hardly sleep. With which doctor who came to our house, who was brought by my husband. One day I inquired. He used to go out and come back. So at some point, I insisted. I wanted to know where they were going to. Then he told me that he goes to sleep in the cemetery in the night. My husband used to escort him at 6 p.m. and then he comes back in the morning. So he told me that he goes to one of the major cemeteries within Nairobi, sleeps there, and then he does his stuff for different categories of people until morning. As in, they start from around midnight until 4 a.m. So when I inquired who these people were, then he gave me 5 categories. He told me that there were pastors, politicians, prominent businessmen and women, the youth, and musicians. Those categories. I'm not saying that all of them do that, but there are a section of majority of them do it. There are few of them who don't do it. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I'm just stating what the witch doctor told me. So he said that they go and sleep in between the graveyards, and then he does the enticing and treatment. So when I inquired, he refused to tell me what it entails. So then it was okay. After that, after hearing that, I was shocked. But then I decided to just keep quiet.
When I heard this anecdote, it left me speechless. The same might have happened to you. The husband who lied to her all these years. Do you know what he did after a decade of being together and after ruining Carol's life?
What she
I
did?
remember
What he
he
did?
he just decided to walk out, and then he came back. He went to a neighboring country, came back, and then said that he decided to give his life to Christ. So I'm not in a
Ooh.
position to judge him, and that he's a pastor, which is okay. I'm not here to judge anybody. So then after that, he decided to remarry, left me with the kids. They
I mean, it's okay him giving his life to the Lord, but bro, you should have converted your family, your whole family. You don't just walk away from them. There, it would be different if you tried to convert them and they don't want to, other than you just leaving, just telling her you a Christian now, and then you just leave her just like that and then get remarried. That's wrong.
had the two, of course, the other ones, I lost the four kids, but now I have two. So it was okay. I don't have anything, against him.
You told that you were living a lavish life and you have lost all of it. So, what challenges are you facing now?
So the challenges that I'm going through right now, there are so many. Like I've not had a job for the last 6 years.
Man,
Because where I used to work, we had issues. You could work even for months, even sometimes a year, and you're not paid.
what?
Yet I'm qualified, so I don't understand. And I used to win awards. I have so many awards and nothing to show for at the moment. I have these two girls. I don't know. We are just surviving by the grace of God, but it's not been easy at all. You know, when you're not working, and I have tried applying for jobs, but nothing is working for me. Some of the men of God, I do not want to condemn them, like I told you, but they said my case is spiritual. There are things that were done on me to ensure that people don't help me at all. Like spirit of rejection was put on me, old age and stuff like that, which is okay. God will fight the battle for me. The battle belongs to God, not me.
Yep.
So basically, like I said, we have nothing at all. I have two daughters. There's one that just completed her form 4, and she decides to join nursing to do a certificate in nursing. But I have nothing. She requires about almost 100K. I have nothing. I have that form, to show the kind of the requirements that are there. She was supposed to join it in this March now, March around 16th. She's just there. She's like, Mom, when is God going to do this? Open a door away for you, because I'm so tired of sitting in the house. And she's the type who just sits in the house. She doesn't walk around. She just, she's there. She's prayerful. She loves God, but now she's just wondering. I don't know what to tell her. All I normally tell her is that God is faithful. God will come through for us. And she tells me, Amen. I don't know. So that is the challenge I've been going through. Sometimes even food, it's not easy. My brother being without a job for 6 years is not easy. So I believe my encounter with the evil spirits, my first encounter, paved way for the second one, like I said, the third and the fourth. And then also the kind of interview that I used to do affected my life a lot. So life has not been easy. I lost everything that I had. As I'm talking to you, I have totally nothing, but only God. God, I don't know, God is my refuge. The friends that I had, all of them took off. When you're in trouble, people take off from you. People feel like you're a burden. But
Yep.
God can never tire of us. That I know. Our God is a God of restoration. God is a spirit. He cannot come down, but he uses men and women of influence. So I'm sure and women of influence are within Kenya, even out there, who are watching me. And God can use you. God can use anybody. We are told that I can put my trust in somebody else, but God has a different plan for me. So God cannot come down, because if he comes down, we all die as a spirit. But he uses men and women of influence to be a blessing in our lives. So I believe that God will use somebody at some point, wherever that person is. I do not know if you're watching me or if you're not watching me, but God God knows me because He tells us that even before I was formed in my mother's womb, He already knows me, and He has good plans for me in the book of Jeremiah 29, verse 11.
This firm belief in God is keeping Carol sane. Hope is a thing with features, and Carol's hope is tied to his presence. People who are visiting witch gods for work or for some belief, would you like to give them some piece of advice?
Most of them have not stood firm with God, majority. I'm not saying all of them. And then I've also had Gen Zs calling me that they want to contact witch doctors. Gen Z, my advice is very simple. You're getting yourself in trouble because the witch doctors, they are just they are ungodly. Let me be very honest with you. The devil came to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yep.
So they'll give you that money, but you have to pay for it. Probably through your child, through your parents, or brothers and sisters. So you have to be very careful. Don't rush, into making a decision, just because you want money. Money is not everything. Without God, you'll get this money, but it will not last, and it will also affect your life. So the best
Yep.
thing, seek God above all, because we know that silver and gold belongs to God. The earth and everything in it, the world and all who live in it belong to God. God is the provider. God uses men and women of influence, like I said. So don't rush into black magic, witchcraft and stuff like that. It's just a waste of time. I'm talking, as a journalist, as a mother, and I've been in touch with evil spirits and, black magic. I was initiated unknowingly, and it has affected my life, and that's where I am, where I am today. I have nothing to show for. I lost everything, so this I had to pay the price. So that's why I'm telling anybody: if you take your mind to a witch doctor, you're in for trouble. In fact, you're in for the worst, because that's what I'm going through right now.
Our curiosity to know the unknown can sometimes cost our lives. Carol is the perfect example of feeding your curiosity and losing it all. Before we end this conversation, would you like to ask anything from our viewers?
I'd like to request the viewers to kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Caroline Nyanga Network, as in Caroline,
Check her
and then
out.
Nyanga, and then network. Kindly subscribe, watch, share for the glory of God. I have testimonies there, and I think if you do that, it's for the glory of God. I'll be humbled, and I don't know. I just thank God for you people, and I know that you're going to do that. For anybody who would like to reach out to me, my number is 0724 58 4443. 0724 58 4443.
That's Caroline's story, man. Sad. But believe that God will provide for her. She's just dealing with the consequences. She gotta go through a phase. You feel me? You don't just get out of witchcraft and then start living a awesome life for the Lord. You gotta go through it and get out on the other side. She's not gonna stay like that forever. Believe me. I'm speaking from experience. But yeah. Yeah, the devil come to kill, steal, and destroy. You wanna know more about the spiritual realm? Obviously, you're not going to know everything, but the basics, what you need to know, the authority we have. You feel me? Open up your Bible. It's that simple if you want to know the truth. But yeah, a lot of people need to like open their eyes to reality. The spiritual realm is reality. This world we live in, the physical, is just a reflection of the spiritual realm. Period. Literally. But yeah, shout out to Caroline, man, for being strong enough to put that out. Because people do need to hear these things and learn from these testimonies. I got more testimonies coming. You feel me? But yeah, that's really important. People really need to hear these stories, these testimonies. It's really important. Uh, but yeah, that was it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it and learned something. Open up your Bible, like I said. If you really want to know, ask the Lord for wisdom and understanding before you start reading the Bible, so you don't read it from a worldly perspective. It's really important. But yeah, that was it for this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I got more videos coming. I upload videos every single day. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so y'all can stay notified. But yeah, I go live every Saturday. Last Saturday, yesterday, I did not go live because I was not feeling good. I went and go play some football. I came back home. I was not feeling good at all. But yeah, I do go live every Saturday afternoon. I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. I upload every day, like I said. I love you all. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. I am out.